morning, everybody. We would like to welcome all of you to today's event entitled SAP HR Connect. My name is Hani Obusan, your host for today, and we truly appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be able to join us at this exclusive event. We all know that, we can't outrun change, right? But we can definitely outsmart it. So in today's world, the pace of business evolution is accelerating at an incredible rate. That's why we do believe in empowering your people to be able to drive change rather than reacting to it. Today, we're going to embark on a very insightful and engaging journey with different SAP experts and thought leaders. And together, we're going to explore how we can leverage SAP SuccessFactors AI-enabled suite and just help you connect HR across your organization, uncover powerful workforce insights, and equip your employees with the skills they need to thrive in an ever-changing landscape. So at today's event, we highly encourage all of you to just have an open discussion. Feel free to engage, interact, and just converse with your peers that are here with you today. Before we move forward, we would like to thank, of course, our amazing sponsors. Without them, this event would not be possible. We would like to thank EpiUse, Qualtrics, GoFluid, and Rising. So I'm going to talk to you about them a little later because they do have booths that I'm sure you'd love to check out.
Thanks for coming for our HR Connects Philippine event. I'm Wendy. I'm the Vice President and Head of SAP SuccessFactors for Southeast Asia. So we all know that change isn't just a constant anymore. It is accelerating at a pace faster than everyone's expectation. So could I have a raise of hand who in this company, who in this audience feel that your company has accelerated the change faster than the last few years? Yes, thank you very much. And indeed, based on McKinsey and Accenture's report, they have shown that they have studied and then concluded that change has indeed accelerated, particularly over the last 2 years. Any idea what is the main driver of change? AI. Yes, thank you very much. And McKinsey studies has also shown that 35% of the organization globally intend to accelerate the use of AI over the next few years. So while AI adoption has grown rapidly over the years in the workplace, employees are still feeling very skeptical due to trust in AI and trust in their leadership. So the fundamental basis for SAP in developing our business AI is to ensure that our business AI must be able to deliver three things: relevant, deliver relevant business outcome, reliable, recommend reliable insights for you to make your decisions based on your data, responsible, providing recommendations that is free from bias and discrimination. So SAP SuccessFactors is a leading HR technology provider globally. We have more than 10,000 customers using our solution. May I have a raise of hand here who are using SuccessFactors now? Oh, okay, that's good. I think we have half the audience here. And you would have known that we have a unique differentiator. The SuccessFactors unique differentiator is that we could start anywhere and go everywhere. So out of these 10,000 customers, 6,500 of them are using our Employee Central, which is the core HR solution, while the rest of our customers have embarked on their cloud transformation journey, starting with the talent modules. This demonstrates the flexibility that we have in adapting to your business transformation priorities. And a good product could develop great business outcome with the support of experienced implementation partners who could help understand your requirements and translate to how you could adopt the best practices. So globally, we have 1,200 experienced partners who are able to support you in delivering successful project outcomes. And our customers, you trusted in us that we are constantly innovating. So we are happy to share that in our Beach One release coming next month in May, we will have more than 120 AI use cases just within SAP SuccessFactors. So we have heard about global view, and let me share with you the Southeast Asia view. So within Southeast Asia, we have 374 customers comprising 2.1 million users, and we all love celebrating successful project go-lives.
My name is Melvin,
And I'm Pia.
and we'll take the next 40 minutes or so to walk through with you on where we see the future, right? Beer with some demos we'll be showing to some of the exciting and sexy things we've put into success factors today. Let's start off with the tagline for this whole event. Make every employee a success story. I think most of us here, we're in the HR community, and we believe in this tagline. Well, I believe in this tagline so much because employees are at the heart of every successful company. And actually more so today because of the two acronyms, not the two letters, AI. And in SAP Success Factors, we believe in building a HitShare platform that is global. And that's why we believe in bringing together the best practices from all the big global companies from all around the world, from the Americas, from Europe, and putting it to a system, but also at the same time making sure that the localization is done. Here in the Philippines even, right? Payroll localization done. And that is something very, very important for everyone. Wendy didn't mention a stat which Kai pulled up. It's we have 280 million users of success factors globally. If you think about it, it's a pretty amazing stat. If we put that into a country, the success factors family will be the fourth largest country in the world. All right. So those of you who are already on the success factors pathway, congratulations and welcome to the family. But what I like about success factors is our constant reach out to the clients for feedback. Let me share with you a few. We run a global CHRO advisory board, and this includes CHROs from all around the world, from big companies, and we get them to sit down with us, with the team of success factors, at least twice a year to get the inputs on what are the trends, what are the challenges. And we will intentionally there get the product team to build it into the system. And nowadays in the cloud world, it's so easy, right? But the iterations, things get put in year after year. In fact, I believe they do 3-4 releases a year, and that gets built in, and it helps the whole HR community get better and better. You have Wendy mentioned about VIP Day that's happening tomorrow. So at a local level, we are also reaching out to clients. And for those who are coming for VIP Day tomorrow, please tell us what is working. Tell us more what is not working, because we want to hear, once again, the feedback to us is very important. We want to make the platform, the HCM platform, the best ever for the globe, for everyone in the globe, and also for the Philippines market. The other thing we do is to run the HR annual trends report. We've done this almost every year now. We started several years back, and those of you who have been following us, you will remember during the COVID years, they had things like hybrid work, very much came up during the COVID years, hybrid work, making flexible work. There was this whole talk about mental wellness. So these are all the trends that we constantly reach out once again to the market. And for this year, we reach out to 40 data-driven business press sources. We have then trickled that down to 254 trends. And from that, we further trickled down to 5 meta trends, which I'll share with you today.
And just as Melvin mentioned earlier, you no longer have to sit and think of your development goal for a really long time, because now you can just input your initial thoughts and AI will make the enhancements for you. So you can see that the measure of success is there, some employee actions are also visible, and even the milestones can also be created by AI. Of course, wherever there is an AI-generated content, there are also tags so that you are ensured that the human touch is still there. If it's generated by AI, you can make sure to actually be able to read through it, make sure it aligns with your specific goals before hitting save. In what we just saw, AI was able to help us identify how we could get to becoming an HR professional. And now I want to know what opportunities exist within the organization to help us get there. And this is where the opportunity marketplace, along with its AI recommendations, comes in. So here you can see some AI-generated recommendations yet again. Our employee can see some open jobs, some learning that they can partake in, and also some available mentors within the organization. You can tag it as something you're interested in or not. You can bookmark it, or you can go ahead and look into your specific mentor of choice. You can see how well matched you are to a specific mentor based on your preferences. Meaning you don't waste each other's time. You don't apply for mentorship blindly. So here we could see that in terms of level leadership experience, we are quite aligned, and we can search for other opportunities. So we can look at this specific learning item, for example, for HR induction. And we can also go ahead and broaden our experience by looking at any other fellowships that exist. So similar with finding a mentor, you're also able to see how well matched you are to a specific opportunity so that you're not wasting your time again. You can see what attributes are required for you to be able to succeed in that specific opportunity and how well matched you are at the moment. So from there, you can either click apply, or you can even forward it to a colleague who you think is a good fit for this specific opportunity.
And to moderate our fireside chat, if we could please put our hands together for Miss Clara Mediavideo, HCM Sales as a Mikolo Geeks.
Good morning, Monique. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming over. Okay, so we're talking about recruiting reimagined today because next to payroll, of course, payroll is always the most critical function for all of us, right? Because it pays us. Recruiting is the most critical function. And I remember when I was in HR, my boss would call me at 7 a.m. every day. 7 a.m. Oh, I would have a special big tool for here. And at 7 a.m., I would hear that ringtone and it would make my heart beat faster. Because he would ask, okay, what's the recruitment status? Right? Why is recruiting very integral to an organization? Think about it. For those who are in HR, right? Every time, and even the business leaders, every time you have a vacancy in your organization, and whether non-sales, meaning operations, back office, every time there's a vacancy, there's someone else doing that job. The next person is doing that job at a higher cost because you have to pay overtime. And that get cause the person to burn out, and then attrition comes. It makes it even more expensive because the company has to hire more. Not just one, now two, because the other one burned out, right? If it's a sales vacancy, there's a quota that's not moving because there's no one working on. Recruiting impacts both top line and the bottom line of any company. And that's why, okay, I understand why my boss would call me at 7 a.m. every morning for recruitment status. So that was 10 years ago with me.
Yes, we're showing our age. But firstly, maganda po umaga. I think that's the Australian version of good morning. I hope I got that right. But welcome, I'm very pleased to be here. And to answer your question, Claire, and really at the moment, recruiting for SAP SuccessFactors is driving a lot of innovation and in the space of being able to provide insights to everyone in the organization. It's not about just it's about ensuring that visibility is there from whatever level you'll deal with recruitment. Certainly from a recruiting perspective, and I might be a bit biased here, but and a bit of a fun fact, recruiting was actually one of the first digitized HR practices. And I think that was obviously born out of the evolution of job boards and recruiters having to post their job ads out to all of these multiple job boards, but also the globalization of our workforce being able to apply to those opportunities as well. So really recruiting is at the forefront of keeping in front of technology. And we're seeing that more than ever now. We had a very different approach to recruiting during that time, which, born different requirements for our recruiting teams or our companies to be able to find staff during those difficult times. Since then, really, and particularly from our characters concerned, we're really at a stage now where we're able to jump with the market trends. We know that skills gap is a huge issue for a lot of organizations. Internal ability as well is a key focus. A lot of organizations that I work with, internal ability is everything that they're focusing on at the moment. Being able to have that interconnectivity and access or visibility to that
opportunity to see the internal talent is key. And I think we've obviously touched on some key points around that already this morning. But also, if you're thinking about it from a transformation perspective with recruiting at this point in time, it's going to be how organizations are really looking at the foundation of how they get the interconnectivity of all of their HRS systems aimed to speak to each other. And I guess with SAP Success Factors, if you've got the baseline of EC, report farm integrating within recruiting, onboarding, learning, performance and goals, and also succession is key to that transformation moving forward.
Yeah, so 10 years ago, even when I was using paper and Excel for recruiting, to 10 years hence, right, it has become more critical than ever because it's so easy for employees now to shift careers, to shift companies. And so companies have to double their efforts in ensuring that they attract this talent. Recruiting is now a selling motion more than ever. And so it's more critical to have the technology in place to make the recruiting more efficient. Okay, so SAP Success Factors, it offers a wide range of HR capabilities, right? So how does the recruitment solution fit into the broader vision of building an agile, future-ready workforce?
When you think about agility, and being in this role for 11 years, I've certainly seen an evolution of the product, and even more so now, as I already mentioned. But key, I think, and I've touched on it before, but it's the foundation, getting the foundation right. You've got to think about the recruiting practice in the sense that we have many people potentially, depending on your organization's climates, that are touchy recruited that might not be in the tool every day. So how do you make their life easier by creating integrations or data mappings or automations through something like job for recruiting hosting, where it's just a seamless exercise that someone is setting and forgetting. If we think about a key aspect of I see, a lot of the time organizations don't get right is the integration between position management and recruiting. Like if we're thinking about a hiring manager kicking off potentially the hiring process and they're having to raise a requisition, you want them to be able to do it quickly because they're not in there every day. So how do you make that job easier for them to get in and get out quickly? Is through integration mappings, field mappings, or business rules, or automation, etc. So really, if you're doing all of the heavy lifting and position management, the career process becomes a lot easier for everyone involved. So yes, it is. The product itself is really about aligning to personas and making it easier for everyone involved by creating automation through integrations or action tools where they assist to do that.
So, to discuss this with us is the Customer Engagement Director, HCM. From SAP Philippines, we have Mr. Shubham Singh. Let's give him a round of applause.
So, just to share a couple of things about us, we are part of the customer success organization of SAP. And what we do is once the selling is done of success factors, we come into picture with the customer and be their advisor. So whether it is implementation related concerns or anything related to after implementation or rollout, because what we see generally is when the customer buys success factors, they obviously have a lot of aspirations in terms of what they want to do when it comes to success factors or any HR solution. They also want a person or someone from SAP who can help them and hold throughout that particular journey. And in SAP, we have invested a lot to make sure that the customer's journey is seamless and persevere all the time, right? So with that, Pankaj, do you want to introduce your role?
I think you have covered very well. Our title talks about what we are supposed to do and what we really customer success partner, the partner in your journey of your success. And success means different things for different customers. And then we'll talk about that. How do we really become your Sherpa and then helping you climb your Mount Everest? So, and by the way, I do anything for you who like cake. So that is the most important, making you rely and having your cake. Sometimes I think the cake as well. So
All right. That's great. Okay. So, a couple of questions I will be asking throughout this particular session, and we'll keep it interactive. So, if you have any questions, feel free. Uh, can you tell us more about the customer success specific to success factors? Like what generally that thing is?
um it has many components. One is, and that is, I'm really proud of the customer community, what we have built on in SAP, and then you are all part of this. If you have signed a contract, you're already a customer. We do these VIP events, which is tomorrow, which is customers for customers. We do the user group sessions. Um, we do the CHRO advisory board. There's a half yearly release coming up. So that is where so in terms of the customer success, if I have to say the two things, learning from SAP, and we talk about what all do you learn from SAP. And second, even more important part is learn from your peers. Don't make the same mistake what your peers have made. So we keep getting better together.
Thank you, Pankaj. Rightly said. We don't want to repeat the mistakes, right? So, for example, if a customer has gone through a particular journey, whether it is a payroll implementation or a simple talent one, we want you to also know how they actually implement a solution, right? And for that, we have a very good customer community, very open customer community, and all those feedbacks are generally shared with the other customers so that they are guided throughout the process. Not only we share this feedback with the customers, but obviously internally also we take this particular feedback and try to improve our process together, right? Next question to you, Pankaj. Can you tell us about customer value journey and what it means for the customers?
Wonderful. Value is the most important part. And then, so if you look at this is where how SAP customer success managers or customer success partner, there are four of us or five of us in the room. And during the next break, feel free to reach out to some of us. Uh, the first and foremost part is confirm your goal and value drivers. Each customer has a different journey, different measures for success. That is the first meet. We sit down with you and they write down on a single simple piece of paper. We call it HR value scorecard. One slide only, or a very complex document, and very simple measures. How could you measure the success 6 months down the line, 1 year down the second year down the line? And these KPIs we hold our implementation partners, SAP, and you also together in this journey of customer success. Second thing, that is where the most of the failures happen. Establish the change and program governance. The same software, when he was saying that we have around 400 customers in Southeast Asia, some are hugely successful and some are not so successful. The only differentiating factor, same technology, same partners implementing, rising, FEUs, and so on. The customer outcome is different because the change management and program governance is not as solid as it should be across the customers. So that is where it is very, very fundamental to your success at the beginning of your journey. Find out who will do what. And many times customers are not ready for change. This is the public cloud system. This comes with the leading practices. And if you don't understand what to expect when you are expecting, and you start expecting different things in your journey, things go wrong. And that is where it is very important for us to sit down with you, help you create the right governance structure. The third thing is prepare for adoption. As a public cloud system, you can very much expect, you would know, my friend, and I'll share some of the resources. You should, the more you learn about the product upfront, the more you can get from the product. I've seen the implementation going on. You come to UAT and you ask your SI, can you train me how to use the system? You have already done a blunder. My simple tip for you, customers who have not yet started their implementation journey or success factors journey, learn about the product as much as you can before you start the implementation. You will be able to guide your SI. Oh, I know this is possible. This is what my old practice was. I know this is what the success factors recommend as a new practice. These are the changes I'm able to make in my processes, and these are the kind of modifications and customizations I require. We do allow the extensions. I'll not call it customization. We do allow extensions. We do allow a lot of configurability. With the same framework, you can configure the way exactly the way you want the system to work for you. But it is very important to know upfront how can you configure this. And I'm not asking you to do the SI job of the rising or the APU's job. Guide them, understand the product, understand the philosophy, understand the leading practices so that you can tell them that I know this is what is recommended. I've spoken to the other customers. This is how they have made changes to their processes, and I'm ready for that. So that is the next third thing, most important thing. Prepare for adoption. Enable users on solutions. As I said, and I'll show the resources. There is so much of free enablement material from SAP which you must use at the beginning of your journey. There is no use in starting to drive the car and then going to a driving school after you have met an accident. You must learn how to drive the car before you start your journey. Very important. Many customers do this number 4 at the time of UAT or at the time of go live. Imagine you're driving the car without learning how to drive it. Very likely to need an accident. Don't do that. And then we watch the go lives. We do have the hypercare watch programs. We have the kind of go live readiness check programs and all. We deliver on that. And last but not the least, once you go live, we help you track those success measures we established in number 1. Had you met your object list? So that is where the kind of journey completes from your kickoff till the time of go live.
Thanks, Pankaj, for that. These are very important points, team. So, without knowing why we are doing this, you cannot justify even to your management why you are using success practice, right? It's not a free solution. You have to pay for it. And for you to pay for it, you have to have budget. How you will get the budget? If you can justify the need of success practice. And that all comes from your value graphs, right? Why you need success factors. And generally, this process starts way ahead, right? Before you even reach out to SAP to get a solution. So get those particular information in place. And I know in many cases, every year or even after a month, this value driver may change. And it's fine. Business directions do change. And all we need to do is to align our solution with that business driver. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to understand why we are going this, right? Couple of other things regarding enablement per se. A lot of customers, as Pankaj rightly mentioned, make this blunder. They don't enable people. We should start with project training orientations, which Pankaj will actually share later. But that is very important. Just imagine, like the example, if you don't know how to drive a car and you have a car, what will you do with that, right? It would be just there in your carriage. Or you will met with an accident, which we don't want, right? Both are dangerous. So definitely enablement is one of those things. You don't know what you don't know, right? Other thing about change management and program, Monique also mentioned during her session, governance is very important. Again, rightly said, and even there are customers here, different from other customers. It's like in a class, everyone is not securing the same marks, whereas a teacher is sick, right? The discipline has to be there. And discipline comes from governance and change management, right? Okay, moving on. Next, my question to you, Pankaj, is what help and support can be provided to our new customers when they start their journey with SF?
Thanks, Shubha. And let's make it real. I know you all have very fancy phones and you want to show off and then use it. I offer the QR code here. So, and then these are your digital goodies. Don't complain that we did not give anything. Okay. This is the public link. The customers who are already using success factors, the most important place for you to keep visiting and find out.
So, to share modernizing HCM with a cloud transformation, let's welcome on stage Mr. Mark Nack, Sales of MBUs Labs Asia.
For those who have not heard about us, I'm just going to take you through a very brief introduction in terms of who we are and what we do, right? So, APUs as a group, we've been operating since 1983, so 42 years now. And it started in South Africa, Pretoria. Yeah, in one of the university in the science lab. 42 years since then, we have now grown up to 4,200 employees globally within the Proof Elephant. And we have serviced more than 2,000 clients that until now. And we are spread across 52, 55 countries today with a lot of local presence, including in Manila. And what do we do here within the group of FPUs? A lot of the initiatives focuses around HR, success factor, payroll, HCN as well. But since then, we have expanded. FPU's labs has also expanded where I'm sitting. Yeah, we cover different topics aside from HR as well. So we are doing from, if I would take you briefly from the left to the right, we are involved in optimizing your SAP data landscapes and environment, mainly around test data management, transformation of your landscape. This focuses on migration, where you're moving to success factor, employee central payroll, or even to Rise S4. Just out of curiosity, how many of you are still running on FPUs on SAP on premise today? And a lot of you have moved on to either Rise or Success Factors. Okay. And then modernizing your SAP system in the cloud. We also do managed services. But today we're going to touch a little bit on the last hexagon, deliver client specific innovation. What does it mean? It is basically BTP, customer development, that we offer to our clients as well. Yeah. So solving from, since we've been in the SAP industry, from solving S4, being involved in S4 HANA and also success factors. Over the years, we've done many custom developments and tailored integration of solutions. That in-house in FPUs, we innovate, develop, and deploy the solution. And the end game is to enhance your business performance, and your user experience in your system landscape. So we are also a member in SAP App House Network, today. So what is BTP? It sounds very techy. In a nutshell, it is a platform, a technology platform where it integrates these 5 pillars listed here, from your app development to your automation processes, to your integration to your different third-party systems, data analytics, and also AI. So essentially, it is a technology platform business to support your business that touches and integrates all these main 5 pillars. In short, think of this as it's a super cool toolbox that you can have access to build and develop solutions that you are currently experiencing in your work for your systems. So as what Mr. Mervin has mentioned just now about, data is king. With BTP, technically you have really integrated all your data in your landscape, the system landscape.
Pagtatakali sa inyong lahat in the audience. What I'm going to talk about today would be a methodology which we call PRECEPT. So earlier, Mark did ask, who among you guys are still on premise? And I saw some hands shoot up at back. So as we know, the clock is ticking for our on-premise customers out there. 2027 is around the corner here already, and April 2025. So 2026 and then, 2027. So there is now a need for our on-premise customers to decide where you wanted to go. So it could be in either ECP or PCE, or they can even decide to move out of SAP, which of course we don't want. We want you here on SAP still. So the PRISM is a methodology that we offer to our on-premise customers, wherein we would help them to migrate into ECP. So in a nutshell, what PRISM is for a customer to accelerate their HCM cloud journey. So PRISM is to move their on-premise SAP payroll to SuccessFactors Employee Central. And with this methodology, there is no need for our on-premise customers to actually do a full re-implementation. So it goes with minimal or no re-implementation. So what we have to offer you guys is that the result of one of our recent successful migration in one of the major airlines, not only here in Asia, but globe. So this airline used the PRISM methodology to move over 35,000 employees. So this is just not their only employees, 35,000, it's around 80,000 will be moved by slicing the data to 35,000 because we don't really need historical data. Those that are 20 years or 30 years in the past, those that are already not with the company anymore. So to cut the size and to cut cost, because as you know, the more data you have, then the larger the size it takes to store those. So we cut them into 35 and also 7 years of historical data only. And with over 500 plus million records, we were able to migrate them in less than actually 20 hours. So not even 2 days is needed to migrate over that kind of data, which they actually do over the weekend so as not to disrupt your BAU, especially during over go live. Aside from moving data out of your on-premise, we also do validation. So we want to know that whatever data we are extracting from your on-premise is still the same data when it lands onto your ECP. So that includes also validation. So parallel runs for this customer, 0 variances for over 22,000 active employees. These are runs like monthly, and also there are offsite ups in both. So we have seen no variances in both the EC and the ECP migration.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mark Dang, as well as Gisela Remigio for that very insightful presentation. So if you haven't already, please make sure, since they are from EPUs, please make sure to visit the EPUs booth. All you have to do when you go there is you just scan the QR code. They have one right there, so you can get a personalized demo of the product that they discussed. Okay, so make sure to visit them. So at this point, we are down to our last session. Before I invite our speaker up on stage, I would like to mention about their booth. Qualtrics is also one of our sponsors, and they also have a booth outside. It is located in the foyer area. So over there, what's going on is they ask, you're supposed to answer questions, and then in exchange, you win exciting prizes. Now, just to give you a quick rundown and let you know what the mechanics are, there are 4 questions to answer, and these are related to Qualtrics' 2025 Global Employees Experience Trends. So they also have a QR code that you scan for you to be able to answer those questions. And then the way it works is it's timed. The person that gets the most correct answers in the shortest amount of time wins. That means, of course, they have to you have the top winner. But what's great is all the entries receive a complimentary copy of the 2025 Global Employee Experience Trends. So make sure to drop by the Qualtrics booth. And then I'm pretty sure entries close at around 1 p.m. And we are going to be talking about something incredibly exciting. We're going to be getting a first-hand experience of the freshest innovations and new capabilities of Qualtrics AI that will help you listen to employees on every channel, understand their needs, and just empower every manager in the organization to improve engagement, loyalty, and productivity. So, to talk to us about transforming employee insights into organizational action, let's welcome the head of Employee Strategy Asia at Qualtrics, Miss Lauren Huntington. Right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lauren Huntington. I'm an organizational psychologist, and my mission is how do we make employee experience a little bit better every day with the intersection of great human capital practices and advances in technology. And you can follow me here on LinkedIn, where I share a lot of studies here from the Asia region. I'm also very mindful that I am the last thing between yourself and lunch, so I will try and make our time together worthwhile. I'm going to give you a couple of stats around how we're doing from an employee experience perspective here in the Philippines. I'm going to talk about some critical challenges in our employee experience programs. And then I'm going to touch on some of my favorite recent innovations from Qualtrics to start to close some of these gaps in our employee experience programs. Now, no talk from an organizational psychologist is complete without looking at how the headlines around employee engagement are faring. Employee engagement is something we've been tracking over the past 4 years here in the Philippines, and we can see that we're performing really well. So, over 83% of people report high levels of engagement at work. In addition to this, we see some really heartening findings when it comes to sense of inclusion and well-being, well over the 80th percentile. So does that mean our work is done? Our employees are happy, they're motivated, we have great places to work? Well, not necessarily. If we look at a more holistic picture around the health of our employee experience, we must consider our employees' intention to stay. So how long are they committed to your organization? And here we start to see a really worrying downward trend and a particular decline over the past year. So only 60% of employees here in the Philippines see their organization as the place they're still going to be working in 1 to 3 years' time. So what's happening here? We used to have a really happy marriage between engaged employees and those that were committed to our organization. And yet we're starting to see the story play out in organizations, not just here in the Philippines, but across Asia and even globally, where we can have highly engaged workforces, but that still doesn't mean that they want to stay with us for the longer term. So we find that asking one particular question of our employees here is really helpful. And that is, to what extent does your experience of working at this company meet your expectations? Here we can see that less than half of employees actually feel that their organization is exceeding their expectations when it comes to experience. So what's happening here? Why are people's bars in terms of what they're expecting continuously increasing? Well, there are a lot of factors at play. We're seeing new generations into the workforce with different expectations. We're seeing employees have consumer grade expectations around their technology, around their workplace, and around their experiences across the entire employee life cycle. So when we used to think about employee engagement, we often thought of this as a once-off event. But actually, whether employees want to stay with your organization is a culmination of all of the experiences that they have from pre-hire through to retire. So, for example, you may have a really poor candidate experience, but actually you have a great onboarding experience. So you stay committed for a while. But then you take maternity leave or paternity leave. You return and actually find you have a different manager. Your job role has changed. And so all of these dynamic life events with your organization impact on that intention to stay and how you perceive that experience.
We'd also like to thank our speakers, our panelists, for just being very generous with their time, their expertise, their knowledge. Thank you as well to all our attendees for joining us. We really hope to see you at the future events that we have in store for all of you. Now, that concludes our program for today. On behalf of SAP, thank you so much for joining us, and we stay. Enjoy your lunch. Again, my name is Hanyo Busan. Pleasure being here with all of you today. Enjoy the rest of your day.